It was not a good film in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you had to have him in the right movie. Like, say, John Doe, Meet John Doe. You know, he did these classic, you know, Howard Hawks kind of movies, you know, that kind of stuff. And you put him in a good movie like that, and he can't screw it up. He was good. But yeah, I don't know if he could really do a challenging role. Well, I mean, he, you know, he just had a weirdness to them. But you were saying my favorite Western. Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. Somebody's mic's open. I closed that. Thank you. No, you didn't quite do it. Sub DNA, is your mic open? Whose mic is open? Somebody will know. Got to mouse over your image and click on the microphone button. Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, my favorite Western is the same as, well, it's not, you know, my favorite is The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. You know, and then you just, but they're all, like, you know, Clint Eastwood has got, you know, 5 of the top 10. But my favorite one, the one I've watched movie was The Outlaws. So, and then next is John Wayne's The Searchers. And then you go for top spot is, but those are the top 2. I mean, they're always like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood.
Searchers is classic. That's funny because that The Outlaw Josie Wales is probably my least favorite of the films. I like his Sergio Leone films, where there's a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But I might just vote for.
Yeah, I hated that. You know, it had that silly. It's too artsy. You know, too much music. I mean, isn't that one where they had like a 6-hour scene where, you know, the guy swatting a fly? You know, it's like 6 hours of catching a fly in his fingers or something, and then he gets shot anyway. And you're like, what the fuck? You mean he just got killed anyway? By, you know, Charles Bronson?
Yeah.
What? Come on! A midget? No way!
Yeah, well, it is a little mannered, I'll grant you. I mean, it's later than those, you know, classic spaghetti westerns, so it's about the genre as much as anything else.
I'd say as a
What
piece of
about
art,
the Wild Bunch?
but I do, you know, as a piece of art, it's got some, you know, like I said, the scene I just described it's still in my head, right? I mean, I still have the fly in my head, his gun, sticking the gun over the fly. I mean, listening to the buzzings. I mean, it's all in my head, so obviously I was impressed by that scene. But yeah, I mean, it's like this. You just asked about the one with the 7 guy thingy, whatever it was called. Damn. But yeah, the Wild Bunch, and then there was that other one, the 7, based on the 7 Samurai one. But yeah, I didn't care for that much.
Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it didn't. You know, I mean, to me, I mean, I don't know how you could dislike The Outlaw Josie Wales. I mean, that movie had some great elements in it. I mean,
I didn't say
Chief
dislike
Dan
his-
George is. Well, you said your least favorite. Okay, that's what you said. Least.
Well, yeah, but it's the least favorite of a pretty elite group.
True enough. Well, then, yeah, I mean, I should. I mean, I don't really count it as a western. You know, the Dustin Hoffman movie, Little Big Man. Just because it's just
That's
such a great
fucking brilliant.
movie. You don't even think of it like a western. But I mean, yeah, if I have to put that in the top 3 too. I mean, that's just, you know, an incredible
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that really is good.
You
Speaking,
know,
you mentioned
incredible.
7 Samurai. Are you a Kurosawa fan?
No, I saw it this year. I did it on purpose. I actually went on the internet and I found the movie finally where I could view it and watch it. And so I watched this stupid samurai movie. And it was so fucking stupid, you know. It's this typical Japanese movie. A bunch of guys in their underwear running around, you know, hitting each other with sticks. Like, oh yeah, fuck, you're gonna have a fucking war and you're gonna sit there and jab each other with fucking sticks? Come on! I mean, it was nutty.
Gary, you gotta check out the Japanese version of Macbeth. That is probably the best, you know, 1950s era
That's Kurosawa
Japanese
too.
movie.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
scary.
it's fucking
They
crazy.
scare each other with puppets or something, you know? I mean, it was just like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I'll squirt you with my squirt gun. I don't know, I just didn't, you know, it was just wacky. I mean, there was the worst fight scenes I'd ever seen. And it's like The Amazing Atheist thinks it's this brilliant piece of art, and I'm just like, oh, jeez. Yeah, no, it's stupid.
I think it's a brilliant piece of art too, but it's not my favorite of his films. I'm not thinking of Japanese titles right now, but the Macbeth remake was that was Kurosawa too. And his great actor is a guy by the name of Mifune, who's in all of his like big hits. He's like he's the equivalent of Herzog's Klaus Kinski.
Yeah, well, I watched another one of his movies, just to see if this Kurosawa guy was this brilliant, brilliant guy. So I watched another one, and it was like some movie where some guy meets this other guy, and they're finding like old emperor gold and sticks, and then, they're trying to get the gold, but the bandits know they have the gold, and it was all this bullshit, and the girl was pretending to be a guy, and I don't know, it was just so fucking stupid. But the only thing funny about it was the guy they're talking to each other, these two guys, and they're like they're friends, but they're always kicking each other and pushing each other and beating each other up, and one of them called the other guy and said something about shit worms, and I just thought that was just such a funny line in a movie, shit worms. Yeah.
Another one you mean, the two are kind of these sad sack types who always wind up getting their asses kicked, but yet they're still together and alive at the end of it, after all the samurai have slaughtered each other.
Yeah.
I could convince you. I could convince you that Kurosawa was great, but it would take some time.
Well, I'm just saying, I could see some room for improvement. That's all I'm saying. I could see some room for some improvement.
You know what I watched today for the first time? On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I mean,
I love the fucking ending to it.
Yeah, I mean, James Bond movies are James Bond movies, goddamn.
But I mean, it's dark for anybody who hasn't seen. I'm not gonna spoil it.
So, who's your favorite Bond actor?
Well, I mean, maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe it's just because I didn't like Sean Connery. I just thought he was an arrogant motherfucking piece of shit. And so, yeah, I liked Roger Moore. I mean, I liked that he was intelligent, and he, it wasn't all about this physical strength thing or anything else. He was just kind of, he anticipated people and stuff like that. So, but I also liked the chicks in those movies. I mean, I liked the songs in those movies, So, I mean, it's I like those movies.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I think them too, Gary. That's funny because most people you ask, they'll say Sean Connery is their favorite Bond, but I'm with you. I like Roger Moore.
Yeah, I mean, Diamonds Are Forever was pretty good. I mean, of the Sean Connery movies, I liked that one the best. Because it did have more humor in it. But I mean, some of his others, like Sean Connery, was a pretty boring guy. You put him alone doing something. I mean, he just didn't seem to have no, there wasn't, he's sitting in some kind of like cave or a mountain or something. He didn't even physically look too good, when they put him in his little skivvies there, he kind of looked like an ape man. So, I mean, but anyway, I just didn't like Sean Connery. I loved his voice, but I just knew this was not a guy I would hang out with. Like Richard Burton, I know I could hang out with Richard Burton. Alright, Richard Burton you can drink with, but Sean Connery's kind of like, he's the kind of guy that somehow he's going to make you put your head under the tire on the car, and he's going to drive over your head. You just know that's going to happen sometime or other. Or, somehow he's going to, you're going to end up in the trunk. You just know somehow he's going to use you for something.
Well, Roger Moore had some of that too. I mean, you've got to have a bit of that to play Bond, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's true. Those movies had great villains, though. I mean, some of those stories were just really great. ideas as stories. You know, the way they constructed some of that stuff was pretty clever.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean, I really liked it. I mean, I really fun movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much about just these Cold War fantasies.
Yeah, I was actually really disappointed with the Austin Powers thing. You know, they spoofed it just so wrong in a way. I mean, the Dr. Evil thing was really good, and certain things were good, but they guys got so stupid, fat Scottish guy, and these little, you know, it was just, you know, they made it too big a cartoon.
I've never seen one of them. I probably should.
I mean, yeah, they got elements, you know. I mean, there's little aspects of it that are, you know, clever, but they're not good movies. I mean, I thought they'd be so much better. I mean, you know, the '70s are just so easy to make fun of. And it was just, you know, it was just way too cliche, too simple. You know, whatever, race and IQ test, it's just stupid. I mean, like, even if people thought there was a difference in people's intelligence based on their race, let's just concede that there is this possibility that midgets have smaller brains, so they're some percentage points dumber. The point is, it's not going to be enough of an IQ difference. Vocabulary is what makes you intelligent, okay? How many words you can store in your head and all that kind of stuff, and exposure and all that. All those numbers don't really mean anything because it's all about a range of potential, and so all you have to do is go to an extra year of school and you're going to be just as smart. So it really just doesn't matter. So, you know, people who think it matters are just being assholes. Well, it's not just about skin color. I mean, obviously your skin is just a small percentage of your genetic code, but obviously your ethnic background is an ethnic background. It does have, if you're Native American, you have a different physical relatives. You have different ancestry, and so you're missing 40,000 years of European, whatever you want to call that, hybridization. You know, you're your own hybrid, so there is differences, and so it's not about just skin color. It's about ethnic, what most skin color has associated with it, an ethnic history. Yeah, well, an IQ test is just a very imprecise, you know, whatever way to measure what, how efficiently. Because, you know, intelligence has a lot to do with how efficiently you use your brain. I think, you know, what kind of storage, how you know, if you got crap in there like nonsense, you know, TV commercials or a lot of other crap cluttering your intelligence, well then, yeah, I think you're going to perform lower. But if you've spent your time doing computer programming or playing video games or doing something else where there's, you know, you had lots of opportunity to do spatial analysis and understand relationships and all kinds of, yeah, well then you're probably going to perform better. So I mean, it's just not a very precise, I don't think there's any precise way to measure what might be, you know, intelligent. It's a tricky word. Capacity or efficiency.
You and I are the generation that got tested extensively in school, or at least I did. IQ tests and aptitude tests of other kinds. And it's given me an enduring suspicion of those tests.
Yeah, well, all I know is they saved me from going to an extra year of school. Because I got straight F's through all of grammar school. I mean, D's and F's. I swear. I mean, if I got a C, it was like, you know, holy shit, Gary got a C in some subject. It was an amazing feat. and I was the youngest kid in the class, the smallest kid in the class,